And then this looks like the first wave for Soleil. Couple of quick steps and goes up to the nose for a quick 5, and then again here. She's just waiting for this one for a little bit of a steeper section. Bit of a smaller wave than what we saw for the men in that last heat. So we have seen, I guess, the waves kind of getting a little bit slower, especially with those sets, but I'm sure we'll see some action throughout this one. 35-minute semifinals as well.
Yeah, great to see that extra 5 minutes added on to the clock. The ocean has slowed down just slightly through the day, so great to see there's going to be a little more opportunity.
Soleil with 2. We've already got a couple of small scores. We'll have a look, just a 0.5 for Honolulu.
There's a lot of people around, a lot of crew that know each of these competitors so well, so it was nice for Honolua to just step away for a few minutes and get a breather before paddling out.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like especially moving into the semifinals, that's something that you really need to tap into. We can see her just waiting for this one to wall up. She gets a quick tap on the nose there and locks in for a little bit more of a longer 5. And finishing that one off with a nice rebound. We'll have a look at this last one of Soleil walking up. Nice 5 there to start. Solid carve. This one just getting a little bit smaller here. I have a feeling she might be...
Soleil Errico up and riding. She put together a really beautiful performance in her quarterfinal, had some incredibly good rail work. Sort of rail work that's earned her her second world title that she clinched back at home at Malibu last October. Up to that 5 to 10 perched on the nose. That was a tricky finish. The rail of that board just came flying straight back up at her face. That's always a bit dangerous. She looks totally fine, like it didn't touch her, but surfers on tour, I believe, at 6'5". He's got to be riding at least a 9'5" surfboard.
Wow, that's solid. Here we go, Soleil. We'll have a look at that replay. Nice use of her rail work. As she is kind of just negotiating these waves. She's up at Rincon, locks in for a 5, another tight 5 there, and then, as you said, Shannon, goes up for that finish, but just goes over.
You got a bit of rail that could be coming right at you. Honolua with a quick kick in and out, just having a look at that wave, staying busy and active. Now, a few of the specifics to the criteria for boards specifically, there's actually some requirements.
And then Honolua, live action.
Up and riding, quick steps up to the nose, flying down the line, choosing to still sit on the Bell's Bowl section, makes it around that opener, sets her line here as she just connects with that foam, redirects, has a look in front for that quick tap to the nose, big section coming down in front of her, and she'll cleanly finish off. Current situation with 23 minutes on the clock. Remember, we started out with 35 minutes as opposed to the 30-minute heats we've been running throughout the remainder of our competition this week. Soleil Errico sitting with a 3.67 and a 3 in the lead at the moment with a score to drop as we take another look here.
Yeah, Honolua gets up to the nose for a nice nose ride to start this one off. You can see her getting a little bit caught behind, but she negotiates that really well, getting around that whitewash back onto some open face. She just waits for this one. Nice footwork there. She locks in for another 5. And then finishing that one off beautifully for Honolua. They are at different points. We'll have a look at this last replay of Soleil's wave. Gets a quick tap to start. Brings it around here with a nice bit of rail work. Nice footwork there for Soleil as she goes up for another nice 5. Locks in for a little bit longer on that one. And then continuing on through with this one, she's sitting up at Rincon, so she's over there by herself. The waves do tend to die out a little bit quicker compared to at the Bell's Bowl where Honolua is, but she's linking this one up really nicely. Nice tight 5 there for Honolua as she brings it around for a solid carve. And then that's all she wrote for that wave for Honolua, for Soleil.
So interesting to see that split between them, but now for Soleil to be adjusting that game plan straight away. I did catch that Soleil, well, we'll get back to that in a moment because Hono is up and riding, quick steps up to the nose, finding that trim line in that middle third of the board, cross steps back, sets herself up through here to the inside, keeping that board in a beautiful flow, but throwing a bit more power into that last layback up onto the nose, making the job look really easy, and setting herself into a position that's could be taking away that leading spot. She's now chasing a 6.30 as Soleil has increased the scoreline with a 6 for her last ride.
But this one for Honolua on the answer back. Nice 5 there as she starts this wave off. And I like how she's patient here, pedals back, gets a nice carve, and just utilizing that first 2/3 of the board there, and then we'll see her start to make her way up. Really nice layback there for Honolua, and then she locks in for another 5 and pedals back at just the right moment. See what plan of attack she could take. Looks like she's decided to stick with plan A up at Rincon. So we'll see Honolua up at Bell's Bowl now.
Running fast up to the nose, and she goes down. Position to be in for the North Shore local as Soleil's back into the pocket, finding that 5 to 10 combination. Little shuffling there off the nose, so not the cleanest of footwork out of this section. Really challenging though, and she manages to make the end of that turn. That was wild. Gives a little hand flick as well, so not super controlled coming out of that nose ride, though the nose ride itself was very dynamic.
And then Soleil, the wave looks a little bit better, a little bit greener, locks in for a really nice 5 to 10 combination. And then this is where she eyes off this end section, puts it up right. Perfect timing there for Soleil. Rise out. She likes the feeling of that one. Gives a bit of, what more do you want me to do? Like how, or maybe it's like, wow, I made that. I'm really stoked. You guys should be too.
Taking one more look at it from a different angle here. So impressive finish from Soleil. Scores to come through for both competitors. Now during the break, Soleil Errico got a piece of the action once again. She got a 7 for her previous wave at Rincon. Now we're looking for the score for this to drop in.
Yeah, she had a couple of nice nose rides to start, just stepping a little bit there. She just gets a little bit wobbly in that section there, but brings it around for another nice carve. We can see Honolua has made the decision to go and sit at Rincon with Soleil. Honolua walking up to the nose and just stepping back here. This wave's starting to look like it has a nice section in front of her. We'll see what she can do. Patiently waits for it. Nice combination there for Honolua. She races through this inside section, trying to generate some speed and get a nice completion. Goes up for a quick tap and then pedals back, and she'll kick out.
Still waiting for that score of Hono. She did manage to gain priority first on the paddle back out, so she'll be sitting in the controlling seat, although Soleil has snuck up the inside just for that positioning. It's actually Honolua who's allowed to have her pick up the lineup, which means she's going to go on this one, setting that rail straight up to the nose for that first opening hang 5. Little S turn, not super deep and committed, but puts it back up into the section for a second hang 5. Whips it around now, looking for that section to line up. Just kind of keeping that board tracking forward as she passes by the kelp in the water. Locks in for another 5. Drives down on a great looking finish with that down carve in the section.
Yeah, absolutely. Locks in for a nice quick nose ride to start, and you can see her just using the rails of the board there, and she just patiently waits for this one. She doesn't try to force something that's maybe not there. Just using the middle third of her board really nicely as she walks up, negotiating that seaweed really nicely. Locks in for a nice 5 and then just drives down to finish. As you said, Shannon, probably not as good as the wave previous, but she still has 2 scores to drop.
2 scores to drop for Honolua. 7 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock as we take a look at another beautiful angle of this wave. Been plenty of mind surfing going on, I think, from us in the commentary booth this week, getting to see such great nose rides, such fun sections, the rainbows, the cliffs behind. It's been a really incredible event to be able to call, to witness, especially when there's been surfing of this caliber. So we take one more slow motion look at that replay. Wearing the booties, which is a challenge. A lot of the surfers have been opting not to wear them because they don't feel like they have that connection and that control on the board. But Honolua has been very consistent heat after heat, feeling like it just keeps her really grounded.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Here we go. Soleil up and riding on this one. Quick tap there.
Finds that nose ride, now pedals back, sets that rail. Great carve as she sets up for this next section. That's a better turn for the second. Engages that drop knee cut back now, just sort of setting herself top to bottom surfing. Putting that board in the pocket, back up to the nose, locks in for that hang 5. Love how you can see the curl of that wave behind. Love the expression on Soleil's face as well, wave after wave, mouth wide open, that whole feeling of the wave just flying through her body.
Here she is, quick steps up to the nose. And this one, she just hangs there again, goes for another nice tap, and she'll bring it around here. Just using all parts of her board on this wave. Steps back for a nice carve. And driving through this one again. We've seen her catch a heap of waves in this heat so far. The last few were just a couple of throwaways, so this one, really nice nose right there. And as you said, just feeling all the emotions in this one as she comes unstuck.
Taking one more look at it here in that slow motion, finding that 5. You can just get that feeling right there. You're going really fast. Such a amazing feeling to be riding on a surfboard in that position. Taking a look at the replay here from Honolua, there's so much action. The judges have quite a few scores that we're waiting to draw.
Yeah, we're waiting for 4 scores to lock in. Honolua getting a nice nose right there. Brings it in again, holds onto this one, getting a little soulful as well as she drives that one for another nice carve for Honolua. So she just seems like she's really in the zone here, fighting her way back at the back end of this heat. Really quiet first 20-something minutes for Honolua, but making the move to go over to Rincon was a great call.
Wow, this is incredible. Both of these women are surfing so well. They're absolutely matching it wave after wave for each other. The judges have a very tough job in front of them as we take a look at the great nose rides there to finish for Honolua, also getting that little jam in the section to finish off with. And she does it, scores through for the previous of Soleil, a 7-point ride. And that puts Honolua now chasing a 6.93. Now we're still waiting for the last score, but Hono goes full commitment straight into the hang 10. All 10 toes fully locked over. She gets a little caught on that turn as she's committed to the rail work, but redeems herself now, looking for this inside section. She's also moved herself back over to the Bell's Bowl just to get away from Soleil, taking off on this wave. That outside 10 was really critical. The inside 10 also critical, but she doesn't hold on to the finish, and that's going to hurt that score with an incomplete final maneuver.
It was smart that she's moved over to Bell's Bowl. Love how she locked in for that 10 really quickly on that wave and held it for a little bit. It was unfortunate that she got a little bit wobbly on that turn there, but recovered really nicely. You could see it grab the rail for a bit of stability. And then she waits here for this one to link up. That Bell's Bowl inside section can get really tricky to negotiate. 5 to 10 combination there, steps back, but just not quick enough. So we'll see if the judges deem that a completion or not. But I think it was super smart that she moved over to Bell's Bowl to give her the opportunity to get a score that she is requiring.
I absolutely agree. That opening hang 10 was so critical. It was in the section. It was full commitment with the body, posture, and everything. It's down to this last moment, though, and maybe the flow in between that the judges would have been keeping an eye on. For Soleil Errico, she has that opportunity today, but she's going to need to win the event to clinch herself an opportunity to win a third world title back at home in Malibu.
Wow, yeah, huge results from that last heat. Soleil getting the win and an opportunity, as you said, to just really take the pressure off and have fun in that next event.